few minutes just to look ahead to next week. With the Ronan O'Gara fan club still in full voice behind us. Will, start us off. Next week, do you go again with those that have been the test match animals in tests 1 and 2, or because it's such a tight squad, do you look at perhaps 1 or 2 others who've played well and give them a chance?
Absolutely. They bring in fresh energy. Understand that a lot of the boys are going to really enjoy this for 24, 40 hours. Yes, they want to go 3-0, but I think they... So, simple answer, yes. Pollock in, other players in. Hopefully Gary Ringrose is fit. Dewan gets a run on the wing. I would absolutely rotate in order to... 09, was it 09, the third test? Big changes. They came, not 09, sorry, in South Africa.
Yeah, it was South Africa.
The third test, they came back, loads of changes. Ricky flew to Hugo Monya, won a test series. Bring the energy next week with new faces and talk about how it was a squad effort.
Okay. How hard emotionally for the Lions now, or is it the easiest week of them all?
I don't think we'll be seeing much of the Lions until Wednesday or Thursday, I wouldn't imagine. Normally they'll probably have a couple of days off to celebrate, enjoy Sydney, enjoy Melbourne. But it is. It really is. You saw, you know, speaking about that 2009 series, the Springboks went 2-0 up and then probably rotated a few players and just weren't emotionally. This game is so based on emotion. You know, like the Wallabies, the reaction from test 1 to test 2 because of how poor they were in test 1. You know, yes, they had some better players coming in and some bigger players, but just the emotional side of this game is, everyone speaks about the physical side and the injuries and everything, but you have to be right at the top emotionally to be anywhere to get a result. And I think that'll be the hardest thing, is the Lions. They'll just drop off 10% if there's a 50-50 or something that they're desperate to go and get. Will Australia be slightly hungrier next week than the Lions, who've been pretty eventful in the week ahead?
What would your message be to this group of players now?
I
The
have no
3-0
idea,
is different to
actually.
2-1.
But I think one thing for certain is that by Thursday, Andy Farrell will be picking a team that he thinks will beat Australia. This guy is since he's been 17 years of age, playing rugby league, has been an absolute competitor, winner, and it's in him. And you can see his reaction. I think he'll have a fair idea of his team tonight, and depending on the behaviours of his team over the next kind of 36 hours, because it's so important too, to celebrate these moments and to enjoy them. And some guys, when you're at that age, or well, maybe age doesn't come into it, you get a little bit carried away, and it goes on for hours for some people, or days and days for other people, and it just takes a whole new lease of itself. But some people won't be able to for 80 minutes, and that's a skill that Andy's well able to pick out. But the competitive nature of him, next Sunday morning, he wants to wake up 3-0, but obviously the bigger picture is it's 2-0, but I think there will be changes, but there won't be changes for change's sake. I think you have to earn test jumpers, and that's kind of the unwritten rule in test rugby.
If it's going to be tough for the Lions because they have got a lot to celebrate, how much harder is it going to be for the Australians? And where do they turn for motivation?
That's an even harder question, isn't it? You know, we saw last week after the first test, it's often much easier to have a reaction, but this is I don't even know what the reaction will be after this. You know, they've showed that they can flip-flop, but we saw that in the Rugby Championship just last year. They beat Argentina by a couple of points, then they got 67 put on them the next. So it's not, unfortunately for this team, it's not unusual to have that flip-flop nature to their performances at the moment. So honestly, based on test 1, test 2, well, which Australia do we see next week?
I mean, one of the things I think in terms of the narrative that the Australians have, you did the promo for it, they're in South Africa 2 weeks after the third test. They're away in South Africa
Ellis
2 weeks
Park.
at Ellis Park, and then does one eye from Joe Schmidt go, do you know what, it's 2-0, it's a stat, it's a number. I'm all about the World Cup in 2 years' time. I need to go Ellis Park and be competitive with my best team.
I also think there's enough in a good video review for Joe Schmidt to get the boys' juices flowing. When Gordon scores and he rips apart the Lions' heart of their defence, kick-off receipt, OK, what are we going to do? Exit here by boot? No, OK, it's on to play, yellow card. They go to Suali and he rips it up the midfield and they score. You know, there's enough there, I think, to build a performance on that could potentially be a winning performance if the Lions are a little bit off.
But you know, Roger, it's so hard to build on those things off the back of a crushing defeat. Yes, they'll take positives. Yes, they'll see the thing. But when you come off the back of a crushing defeat like that, it's almost like, do those things really matter in the grand scheme of it? You know what I mean? They'll know that they'll have played well. They'll know that they'll have done all those things well.
Yeah, but I think then you got to make it personal. No one likes to lose 3-0. 2-0 is, they're gutted, but like the message is okay. Let's show the people that actually it should have been 1-1. And you'd say, well, that's too easy to say, but it's actually not, because these guys have got a heart and a soul, and they're ambitious and they want to do something in their rugby career. They don't want to be in that category of being 3-0'd.
Next week we'll obviously define this tour in terms of the Test series, but you know, as we stand here right now, Rod, as our statistician, has just sent through an absolute gem. This is the 13th time the Lions have won a Test series since 1888. 13th. Not many,
the
is it?
Lions have won a Test series.
Only the 13th time the Lions have won a Test series since 1888. So not many is the point. What, at this point, as we stand here right now, has this done for the four?
A bird has
into
just
one?
pooed on Ronan.
Oh, my word.
Perfect timing.
Right, that's lucky.
Very lucky for
That's
some,
lucky.
but not for Ronan. Does that slightly sum up the end of this show? I don't know.
La Rochelle are going to win the European Cup
Lump on.
and the top 14 double.
Can someone clear that up, please? Well,
What was the question?
The question was where? I don't know. Where are the Lions as we stand right here, right now, in a professional game that is moving ever faster? The challenges are coming in all sorts of areas of the game. What has this series done for those 4 into 1?
40-odd thousand travelling fans. We're in the Lions Den today, 7,000 people. The doors opened at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 hours before kickoff, and it was like a plague of locusts sweeping in. They wanted to hear from old players, new players, current players, coaches. The desire, the appetite is everywhere. I had to go on 2 Lions tours with him. This was every week.
It's exhausting.
It's fun, though. It's fun, right?
Apparently it's a seagull. There are lots of seagulls around, apparently. Oh, there are the seagulls. That might be the very... That's the criminal right there. That's the criminal right there.